Deir al-Balah in central Gaza, Ohad Ben Ami, Eli Sharabi and Or Levy have been flown back to Israel and reunited. The military has begun withdrawing from the Netzrim corridor in Gaza. It comes just hours ahead of a Sunday deadline that was agreed under the ceasefire and have been advancing towards another major city, Bukavu.
The joint summit recollected that both the ESC and SADC summits had, upon deliberating on the security situation in eastern DRC, called for a cessation of hostilities and immediate ceasefire, b, restoration of essential utilities and supply lines for food and other essential commodities to ensure humanitarian support, and peaceful resolution of the conflict through the Luanda and Nairobi processes.
Well, thousands of people have died in the military offensive by M23 rebels.
The numbers of people killed and injured in this conflict keep going up. The UN says there's been a surge in rights abuses against civilians in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, including executions, gang rapes and bombing of displacement camps. After M23 rebels backed by Rwanda took the provincial capital of Goma, they ordered people in the surrounding camps to go home. Others are sheltering in churches or schools, saying they've nothing to go back to or it's not safe.
This really happened. Many among us have been raped. The rebel forces enter houses and rape mothers and daughters. They loot and rape. That's why we fled.
Rwanda's army first invaded in 1996 and targeted armed groups in refugee camps who'd taken part in the genocide 2 years before. It also overthrew the government in the capital Kinshasa. That led to 2 major wars drawing in about a dozen African countries. About 6 million people were killed, mostly by starvation and disease. They're problems that persist. Rwanda and Uganda have been accused of meddling in Congo and looting minerals ever since. UN investigators say this time M23 is supported by thousands of Rwandan soldiers. Rwanda says it has the right to defend itself. M23 says it's fighting armed groups who threaten the ethnic group of its leaders. Congo says Rwanda's looting its vast mineral wealth. M23 took control of these coltan mines in Rubavu last year. Rwanda's mineral exports have doubled in the last 2 years. M23 last took Goma in 2012. The US and European countries cut funding and military support to Rwanda. Congo's army eventually fought M23 back to the border with Rwanda with substantial international support. Congo's army is weaker now and Rwanda's is stronger. The UN and Western powers have called Rwanda to withdraw its troops from Congo.
There have been many statements and condemnations around the world. At the same time, Rwanda has become an indispensable ally for many countries in other crisis zones. After all, it's one of the biggest contributors of troops to peacekeeping missions.
Troops from southern Africa and UN peacekeepers have failed to stop the pro-Rwandan forces' advance. Thousands of Burundian soldiers in South Kivu are fighting alongside Congo's troops. As Red Cross workers collected bodies around Goma, M23 has said it will continue all the way to Kinshasa.